Well, good morning, Get Wrecked for Recovery crew. So it's day 21 of the Redeeming Eden Cycle Tour. RECT, Get Wrecked for Recovery. A 48-state, 4-year ride for addiction recovery awareness. Each day I pedal for someone who's passed away from addiction, and the whole end goal is to build a rehab. And this is state number 34, Michigan, on the Ride to RAGBRAI 2022. A 4,500-mile loop around the Midwest, Ohio to Erie Trail, Upper Peninsula, Glacier National, Yellowstone, and back to RAGBRAI last week of July. And it's all to raise awareness that addiction recovery options are available, that you don't have to die in your addiction. There's churches, Celebrate Recoveries, and rescue missions all over the nation, all over the world, that just want to help you and talk to you and love you if you find yourself battling addiction. So yeah, here at the Super 8, not in San Francisco, California, in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And as you can tell, right, I have on the attire of someone who might be going out into wonderful weather. And I'm super excited about that. So it's actually a little bit chilly right now. I think it's 50, but it's supposed to get up to 60. It's supposed to be a great ride today. It did rain last night, so I'm actually glad I ended up in a hotel. God is always watching over us, and I'm so thankful for that. And so, yeah, I got to go to the bike shop. I talked to Motorless Motion, and the guy there, his name was Adam. And so I was like, hey, Adam, it's Adam. And he said the sooner I can get there, the better. They should be able to replace the spoke. I'm just going to grab a sausage biscuit or something and get on the road. I have looked ahead on the route. It does look like it gets a little bit more hilly. But there is a state forest where I think I can disperse camp, where I'm going to disperse camp, called Roscommon State Forest. And that's my goal, is to make it the 50 miles to that forest. Looks good on satellite. Again, it's not, there's no foliage on the trees, but I think there's like enough options for me to slip in somewhere and camp. I'm so ready to camp. Anyway, yeah, that's enough of me jabbering. Like, I'm just excited to get on the road. My spirits are lifted. I feel great. Let's go. Alright, so I just ate here at Ponder Coffee, and I think probably one of the coolest things about that whole experience was that their menu is from The Office. And so, like, I ordered the Beasley, Pam Beasley, and then the drink that I got was the Meredith Palmer, which is like an Arnold Palmer, but it was tea and peach lemonade. Or lemonade and peach tea. Anyway, it's just right around the block from Motorless Motion, which is right up here, and they have been working on my bike. So I've got to go in now and check out what they were able to get done to it. And then I'll be able to get back on the road. You'll see more of that right about now. Okay, so just got finished up in there, and Mike with Motorless Motion was just looking at my rear shifting, and he was like, I don't understand why it won't shift clear and precise. And so finally, after like really studying, he was like, you need a goat link extender for your rear derailleur. And so I was like, I knew I did. When I ordered the bike, I put it in like the email, like I need this thing, and the guy that built the bike was like, no you don't. So all this time, my shifting, that's what I've needed. So none of the bike shops ahead of me are going to be open today, where they can contact someone so I can drop ship it ahead of me. So that's just going to have to be something that happens later. I mean, you know, spent so many miles on this bike with it as is. At least now I know that there's a diagnosis. So, you know, like, it's like knowing that you've got a broken leg, but you can't schedule the surgery until a week from now or whatever. So we haven't have to look at it. I'm going to limp on with what I got until the surgery can be done. Either way, it is now like 1 o'clock, I think, somewhere close to that. So don't know if I'm going to make it 50 miles, but I'm going to ride, and I'm sure I'll end up right where I'm supposed to be. You'll see more of that right about now. Well, so I had to stop here, Isabella County Fairgrounds, and there's the camping area, all fenced up, boarded up and empty until May 1st. I actually didn't even know I was going to pass it, so anyway, keep on going. Alright, so I just stopped in here into Clare. It looks like I've got about 16 miles left to go to Harrison, is the name of the city. I think Wilson State Park, and I think that's what I'm going to just do. It's already almost 4 o'clock, but I stopped in here to the White House across from Hotel Doherty in Clare, Michigan, and sat down and ate, was just chatting with some of the people there, and when I went to leave, they said the food was on them. I also met an awesome Christian couple named Joy and Marty, and they said they live down the way. They said, so when you get to the top of the big hill, you just look and we'll be waving. So Joy, Marty, it's a pleasure meeting you guys today. But yeah, I'm going to put my tights back on. I'm actually getting really chilly, so I'm going to head down the road, and you'll see more of that right about now. So that was definitely a big hill. Marty sure knew how to shoot that one straight. So Marty at the bottom of the hill, before I came up it, had turned around in his vehicle and come back down and handed me an envelope and said, hey, I just spoke to Doug. So while we were at dinner, or lunch there, he said that he knows a guy that wants to get into like rehabilitation type stuff, and that I should meet him if I find him around Wilson State Park. And so they called him, And he said, hey, as a matter of fact, there's a big dinner tonight. Like, I'd love to, have him come there. So Marty handed me all of Doug's information in an envelope. I hadn't got to the campground yet, but I'm going to go through all that. And so then when I got to the top of the hill, they were there and stood and talked with me for a little bit. And so, like, it was really good. I don't know what God's doing, but I'm excited to see what happens at this dinner. Alright, so I just rolled in here to Harrison. I've been to a Harrison lake before, almost with that same kind of a painted sky. Either way, I just talked to Doug on the phone, and he said that he gave me the address to the meeting that I'm going to. It's like a recovery/Bible study. It starts at 6. I'll probably be about 15 minutes late, but I'm almost positive it'll be right on time. So I'm going to keep on moving down the road. Just ignore that right about now. Alright, so this is Doug. This is who I've been riding toward since I met Marty and Joy. And they fed me tonight here. We had a Bible study. It was pretty amazing. Thank you so much for that, by the way.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and so tell them about the place.
So this is Mid-Michigan Recovery Center, and we're a 20-man inpatient facility. We've been here for 5 years. And we're not open right now, but we still do a men's Bible study every Monday night, dinner, Bible study, and all recovery meeting. And we've got now 200 members. This guy here is our 200 member.
Number 200.
And God brought us together today. It was pretty awesome. And we've helped a lot of people, and we plan on keep going with this, man.
Well, I pray just absolute blessings on this place, and I look forward to it being able to open again soon, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Love you, brother.
Love you, man.
Well, okay, so I'm here at the, wait, this isn't the campground. So you're never going to believe this. Well, I mean, of course you will. So crazy story, right? Donovan rides back with me to the campground. He's got to go back, a few more blocks, and he's one of the guys that was there. He's gone through some ministry school, and he was like, I just want to ride with you. So he rides with me down to the campground, Wilson State Park. I pull into Wilson State Park. There's a phone thing on the wall that you've got to call to check in late nights. I call. Donovan has gone his separate way. I get like halfway into that conversation with the guy to check in, and this has taken probably 10 minutes. Donovan pulls back up on his bike, and he's like, hey, I wanted to just make sure that you got checked in safely. So I was like, well, thank you so much. That's the love of God. I appreciate you sharing that with me. And looking out for me and taking care of me. And so while I'm talking to him, I get hung up on, like right as I'm going to give payment for site number 135. So I'm like, I got to call him back. So I call him back, and now it's another person who picks up. So I've got to go through the whole process again. Name, all the stuff, riding a bike, don't have a car, don't have a license plate, all the things, right? So while all that's going on, Donovan's like, so I think you're good, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. It's just I got to, pay and get checked in. So he leaves again. So now the lady's like on the phone. She's like, I don't even know if that campground's open. And I was like, oh my goodness. So while she's on the other line checking all that out, Doug pulls back up in his truck and he's like, hey, I've got a recovery house also and nobody's using it. Would you like to stay there tonight? I mean, you'd be able to wash clothes, shower. It's got power, heat, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, yeah, that would be amazing. So the lady right then kind of comes back on the phone. She's like, okay, yeah, everything's good. Starts to take card, payment. And I was like, hang on. So I'm actually going to stay with somebody else. She's like, oh, you're staying with another camper? Okay. And gets off the phone. So I follow Doug back over here. And we get here. And, I mean, it's a full house. Like, a full house. And Doug and I talked for quite a long time. I'm encouraged by his story on how God has provided so many different things for him over and over again. And then I'm just thankful to be they fed me tonight. There was a Bible study, so I got to be fed spiritually. On top of all that, so many people there donated tonight. It was crazy. I hadn't gone through the bike yet to figure out how much the donations were, but it was a lot of donations. So thank y'all so much. Oh my goodness. So Doug and I talked. It's almost 11 now, and we talked for a long time. I mean, it was really good. But yeah, thank you so much, Doug. This is beyond my wildest imaginations. And to think that it all started with stopping into the White House restaurant and meeting Marty and Joy, and then just a ball of things started to go into place and start happening. It's wild to me how this stuff works out here. God is so good. He's so good over and over again. But Doug, a friend shared a verse with me this morning. I think it's Proverbs 24:11, which talks about how we rescue those that are dying, and then we help hold back those that are struggling towards slaughter. And so, man, that's you. I see that in you. I'm encouraged by that in you. And I wanted to share that, I've been thinking about that verse today. And I knew that, somehow, some way, God was going to put somebody in my path that I could encourage with that verse. And that's you, man. You are doing everything you can to, hold back the levee. And I love what you're doing. And so I really do. I pray that God opens up the doors of your facility again soon. However he does it, I believe in what you're doing, man, wholeheartedly. And I'm thankful that I got to be blessed by you guys tonight. It was amazing. So yeah, since it is late, I've got to get started cutting and editing the video for the night and then get it out to you guys. So to do that, I've got to end the video here, unfortunately. Amazing day, though. Crazy, amazing day. If you know anybody who's passed away from addiction in any form or fashion, please find me through the Papa link in the description, and I would love to ride for your person and celebrate their life with you for a day. That Papa link's got all the Redeeming Eden social media in it. If you know anybody who's actively addicted, anybody in general, share this with them. Thank you so much, Get Wrecked for Recovery crew, for liking each video, commenting on each video, sharing each video, and for all of those of you that are new to the channel, thank you for subscribing. The analytics are just showing that's good. It's good. And I can't do those things, so thank you so much for that. Don't forget that Redeeming Eden is a non-profit ministry through International Gospel Outreach. That link's also in the Papa link, the description. You can go there and find out more about Redeeming Eden and the Cody Jordan Forever Funeral Fund, which is a fund I started to help families who lose loved ones to addiction with paying funeral costs. So yeah, from here in a house with a shower and washing machine and heater and power, unbelievable. I mean, you saw, it was after dark. I was going to be setting up in the cold, and my little fingers were going to be freezing tonight working on this video, and that didn't have to happen because of the provision of God first, but second, because of friends like Doug and Marty and Joy and all those friends I met tonight. man, wild how good God is. Over and over and over again. Daily, he loads us with benefits. He's just good like that. And it's so cool to be out here and see it. I don't know what else to say. I'm speechless. So, yeah, from here in Harrison, Michigan, state number 34. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. I'll see you later. Have a good night.